with. We'll start with opening statements, and ladies will be doing the first person to answer will be in rotation.
In technology and educating kids for the future so that they're prepared for the kind of world they're facing.
Thank you. Next opening statement, Ms. Baker, Neva Baker.
The experience that I have with coming onto the school board, like Sue, I was involved in PTA. I served as the PTA president for North Pole Elementary for 3 years, and then I was also involved on the PTA at both the North Pole Middle School and North Pole High School. I also substitute taught at Mountain Home School District in Idaho, as well as the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District. And along with that, I was also a coach at North Pole High School for 5 years. And so I've had a lot of involvement within the school district. I also have 5 children, 4 who have graduated from North Pole High School, and then I also have 1 who is just entering as a high school student. And that was one of the reasons that I decided now was a good time to go ahead and run for school board, because I still have an interest in being involved within the schools. I have a child who's still there. And as far as 3 priorities that I think that we need to work on, preparing students for the future. The world is changing, and for our children to be ready, we have got to be able to prepare them. A lot of this is going on with technology. We were not raised in a technology society. They are raised in a technology society. I'd be willing to bet that most of the students that we know and that you know probably know how to run a computer better than you or I do. And we have to catch up to them, and for the teachers to be able to do that, I think it's great that the initiative that we have now with technology has provided IT instructors for the teachers to be able to catch up with the students. We need to say no to dropping out. We need to try to come up with initiatives that are going to keep the students in school, whether that is through partnerships with the university and internships with local businesses. I'd like to see us work harder to provide more opportunities like at North Pole High School.
Thank you. Opening statement, Christina Brophy.
Like Sue and like Neva as well, my experience comes from volunteering within the schools over the last 18 years, well, not 18 years, 16 years. With my son just graduated out of Lakewood High School, and so I also have a lot of time on my hands as an empty nester. Some of the volunteer activities within the schools that I did were tutoring as far as with the Literacy Council, volunteering as a PTA vice president when my son was in 2nd grade, staying active within the school system during the entire time at school, as well as having a background in education. I just recently earned my Master's of Education in Guidance and Counseling, and during the course of my time at the university, I had the opportunity to do a lot of research, and it kind of created a lot of questions for me as far as seeing what we can do to continue the excellent, I think, reputation that we have within the school district, as well as what can we do to improve things. I guess some of the things that are important to me as far as the issues that are important to me are dropout rates. I only got 15 seconds. Dropout rates, the diversity issues, as well as maintaining and improving community relations with the schools and business relationships with the schools and the community. So I have to stop.
Thank you very much. Jessica Smith, opening statement.
I've lived in the Fairbanks North Star Borough for over 15 years and have observed a great number of changes in our students and in our schools, even just in the short time since I graduated from high school here. I'm now a parent of a student going to school in our district. She's in the back row. Hey, Trinity. And I'm also happy to co-parent 2 older students, one in middle school and one who's just begun high school. I believe that I have a fresh perspective and a unique insight and understanding into the needs and challenges facing today's students. I have drawn a diverse background of experience, which I think has well prepared me for this position and would make me an outstanding member of the team of the school board. When I was transitioning from middle to high school, I noticed a trend and a problem going on with a group of students, an at-risk group of students, and many of those students were my friends. They had been kicked out of just about every place in North Pole that they'd like to skateboard at. I walked into Mayor Jacobson's office at 13 ripe old years of age and said, "Mr. Jacobson, we have a problem. These kids don't have a safe place to skate." He said, "You're absolutely right. Why don't you do something about it?" so he walked me into the city planner's office where we identified a piece of land that seemed suitable for the skateboard park. I worked tenaciously to get the community's support for the funding necessary to have what is now the North Pole Skateboard Park. 3 issues that I think are pertinent are funding, additional funding by fostering community.
There'll be closing statements. You can all expound on them. Okay, ladies, the folks at Arctic Alliance have designed questions related to issues of concern to them, and they're divvied up into 5 categories, and they are numbered 100, 200, 300, and 400 each. 400 does not mean necessarily more difficult, it just helps to identify the question. The categories are youth issues, family issues, healthy community issues, school community issues, and disability issues. And so on the boards, hopefully you can read those clearly. And so we're going to begin with Ms. Baker. You get to choose, and your option, ladies, will be to go ahead and choose a brand new question when it's your turn, or if you prefer, you may answer the question of the person immediately in front of you. If you
Don't have to
would like.
answer with a question?
Ms. Baker, no. You just answer with your own answer. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Baker, your first choice.
Oh, let's see, how about youth issues for 200?
Youth issues for 200. Adolescence is a time of exploration and experimentation. How can schools support this important stage of development while ensuring student safety? 1 minute.
I believe that as we as educators and parents and students and staff, if we can work together to provide a diverse opportunity for youth to get involved in different programs. I know key to that, because we can't do it all during the time that the students are in school. During that time, they've got to be involved in their core studies and that. But that doesn't mean that we can't make those exciting and interesting. I know as a substitute teacher, I had the opportunity of being very creative, and I think that as teachers, being creative helps. I also think partnerships, bringing in individuals from the outside is going to help. The students to recognize, I think the biggest thing we have with dropouts is that a lot of our dropouts want to get right into the workforce system right away, and so by having partnerships with businesses that will help prepare them will help to solidify those relationships and make it so that our students will want to stay in and want to be a part of the schools. And once again, I go back to North Pole High School and that automotive program. They've done a great job in keeping at-risk students in school.
Thank you. Ms. Brophy, your turn.
I'll say family issues for 200.
Family issues for 200. The United Way Compass Project has identified substance abuse as the primary problem impacting families, youth, and education. What should the school district's role be in decreasing substance abuse and supporting proven prevention programs? 1 minute.
Once again, clearly, I think we in Alaska here, we obviously have a problem with substance abuse, and the most important role that I think we play as a school district is working together, not just individually as a school district, because I think the responsibility also falls within the families if we're talking about the youth. What should be done? Clearly, education programs to try to identify the issues for students as far as how it impacts them in the future. What can we do to help them with the problem as far as, I don't think within the schools, at least not to my knowledge, that we have, like the AA programs, not that we have to have an AA program, but something similar to that would allow students to maybe meet together, talk about the issue, and address the issue and at their level and how they understand the problem, and maybe be much more likely that they would talk about it amongst themselves with support of staff versus individually, with being talked to by.
Okay, thank you very much.